So I have to tell you that today's video is going to be a little bit edgy. In fact, this video is likely to kind of turn off a few people, maybe even offend a few. And that's not the intention of my video today. But we're going to talk about something that I think is correlated. What if I told you that there was a drug that existed in America? And that drug had been around for years and years. And what if I told you that that drug kills over 3 million people every single year? You probably think to yourself, well, how is that even possible? Having a drug on the shelf that kills 3 million people, documented by the World Health Organization, and it still exists? Well, it does exist. And every single year, alcohol kills 3 million people. And why is it that society isn't alarmed by that? Well, you see, society isn't alarmed by it because it is socially acceptable. When you think about it, you look around, you go to every restaurant, you go to places when you travel, it seems like everybody's drinking, right? In fact, why don't you think about this? Have you ever been to an airport and you look over while you're sitting in the little section that you're getting ready to fly out, and there's a bar not too far away, and there's a guy sitting there and he's drinking a beer while he's eating his cornflakes? Now, if I did that in my house and you saw that, you would say, that's crazy, dude. Are you an alcoholic? Something's wrong. And yet it is totally socially acceptable inside the airport. The reason that there's a correlation here to your money is because, you see, I believe that it's socially acceptable in people's minds today to have money in the stock market when they ought not to have any there. You see, we consider drinking to be a social pleasantry. It's something that we enjoy, it's something that we do, and it takes the edge off, or it helps us cope with life in general. And let me tell you one thing about alcoholics, or people that drink on a regular routine basis. They look for what's called the confirmation bias. You see, if they look around and all their friends are drinking, they feel justified in their drinking. They don't think that anything is wrong. If they have a suspicion that they might be drinking too much and they walk up to their friend and they say, hey, how much wine do you drink? I drink a bottle a night. And yeah, I drink about the same. They feel completely confirmed that they're normal. The same thing is true about investing. Yesterday I had an interview. I had an appointment with a client of mine who's 75 years of age. This gentleman had worked many more years than the normal average person had worked. And what was kind of sad about this situation in my mind was the fact that he had worked so long, he had worked so hard, and granted, he enjoyed his job. But now that he was retired, he said that he had to reconnect with his wife. Well, in my mind and in his mind, even in his wife's mind, they had saved enough for retirement, especially seeing how he had used up probably 2/3 of his go-go years before retirement. And he was now in a situation where he was asking me, well, I've got these dollars and I want these dollars to be safe, but you know, I've got this money over here. And this money over here, it's sitting with a stockbroker and it's in the stock market, and it was a pretty sizable sum. And he said, do you think I should have this money in the market? And immediately I made this connection. I said, well, if you've got more than enough money in order to have the enjoyment in retirement, to do the things in retirement that you want to do, to reconnect with your wife, to do the traveling, to spoil the grandchildren, to go on vacation with your kids, to do all those things before you completely run out of go-go years. Let me ask you, why do you even need to be taking the risk? And he said, well, all my friends have money in the stock market. Aha, confirmation bias. You see, it seems as though to me, and I know that I sound a little dogmatic, a little passionate, But the fact is that it seems like in society today that we have drank so much Kool-Aid that when we pop out of the market or pop out of the womb, we have to have money in the stock market. It's not true. There's no law anywhere that says that you have to have a single dime in the stock market. Now, I will contend and I will even confess and I will admit that as a fiduciary, if a younger person comes to me for advice, I'm going to be encouraging them to invest in the stock market because it is a good place to dollar cost average to grow your wealth over the course of 30, 40 years. But if you're getting close to retirement, there is no rule anywhere that says that you have to continue to take the risks that you've been taking. I don't care, and neither should you, what your friends are doing. You see, when you think about alcohol, why do people get into so many accidents? Why do people do so many dumb things when they're drinking alcohol? Well, they're doing those dumb things because the alcohol has taken over. It's diminished their IQ. It's diminished their thought process, their smarts. Some of the smartest people I know become some of the biggest morons in the world after they begin drinking. The reality is, I want you to be smart about your money. And realize just because there is maybe safety in numbers, just because you look at everyone else and all your friends are investing in the stock market and they're going, go stock market, go, and their stockbrokers are the cheerleaders and they got their pom-poms and they're beating the air and beating their chest and saying, go stock market, go, doesn't mean that you need to follow them. Let me ask you, do stocks go up forever? No, they don't. And so maybe it's time, as you're getting closer to retirement, that you consider taking your winnings off the table. Because you see, just because the roulette table, just because that roulette wheel hit the red the last 14 times doesn't mean that it's going to hit black next. The odds are still the same every time that roulette wheel goes around. So maybe you've been thinking about this. Maybe you're getting closer to retirement and you realize in the back of your mind, something in your intuition, your gut instinct, it's telling you this is not going to go on forever. May I encourage you not to follow the herd, but rather to take your winnings off the table and focus preserving and protecting the principle that you have and using that principle to create income for the rest of your life. Income that will allow you to be able to do the things that you want to do. Enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. Go to the places that you want to go before you get too old to enjoy those things. I know that today's video was awfully heavy and it was kind of dogmatic and passionate. But isn't it true that sometimes we need a little passion, we need a little bit of motivation, a little kick in the pants to really get ourselves over the hump to say, you know what, that makes sense. So if today's message really spoke to you, if something clicked in your mind, I encourage you to reach out to me. I will be happy to take a few minutes of my day to help you understand how you can do what all the other retirees are doing today while they're taking their money off the table and they're using it that is productively creating income for themselves. So I know today's topic was talking about things that were socially acceptable, even though in many people's minds it really isn't. But let me share with you one thing that is socially acceptable, and that's taking these videos and sharing them with your friends. If this video was valuable to you, I encourage you, hit the subscribe button, then go ahead and push the bell so every time we put out a new video, you get a notification so you can watch the video. But please, do your friends a favor. Share this information with them, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, so many of us need this information, but we're not getting it from the financial services industry. So thanks so much for sharing, and again, make it a great day.